Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness here. And today, as promised, I'm giving you guys part 3 of the Back to Basics series. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about basic nutrition. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Now, what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, in keeping with the spirit of this series, this is not giving you the nutrition information you need to get contest shredded. This is not going to get you down to 5% body fat so that you can step on stage, but if you're the average Joe who just wants to look good at the beach, you're stupid as fuck if you cut down to 5 or 6% body fat. We don't need to go there. That is not useful for the majority of people. So you guys need the basics. And here are the basics. First of all, calories in, calories out are everything. Anyone who argues against this is trying to sell you some sort of fad diet. We know this, all the studies on it confirm this, all the research on it confirms this when we have actually studied it closely. Net calories in and calories out are what matters. And people are going to mention stuff like, oh, protein and the thermic effect. I just said the word net. So keep that in perspective. I didn't say calories in, calories out. I said net calories in, calories out. Because I know not all calories are created equal. But that's what matters. You need to determine your maintenance calories. You can use all sorts of online calculators to get an idea, but until you eat a consistent caloric intake for a week and your body weight doesn't fluctuate, you don't know what your true maintenance is. So you need to find your maintenance. And if you have been eating consistently and tracking calories and have been tracking your scale weight, you already can find your maintenance. Assume for every pound per week scale weight that you go up or down that you're approximately 500 calories off from your maintenance, if you have been consistently at that caloric intake for a couple weeks already. It's that simple. So how many calories should you eat? Well, here's the dilemma people run into. We're going to assume that if you're the average Joe, which is going to be 99% of you, you just want to gain muscle and you want to lose fat, you want to look good, you want to look better. So you're going to have to bulk and cut at some point, but if you bulk too fast, you gain too much fat, you have to cut longer and lose more muscle afterwards. So any additional muscle gained from going on extreme calories is going to be lost in the cut either way. And if you cut too fast, you lose muscle and lose your gain. So it's about finding that fine balance. And what I would tell most people is that you need to be within 10% of your maintenance most of the time. If you are bulking, you probably don't want to go much over a 10% surplus. So if your maintenance is 3,000 calories, that's 3,300 calories to bulk. If your weight gain stalls for 2 weeks on a bulk, increase it another 10%. When you are cutting, the same thing holds true, other than you can add cardio and other activity before you cut calories. So if you're going to cut, start with a 10% deficit. If your weight loss stalls, again using the same model of 3,000 calories, you would cut on 2,700. If your weight loss stalls for 2 weeks, reduce it either another 10%, so another 270 calories, or add a couple hundred calories of additional activity and cardio per day, and you should start losing weight again. It's that simple. And if you do extremes either way, there are consequences. So don't go very far beyond a 10% surplus or deficit. As far as protein intake goes and your macros in general, try to get 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. And you don't have to know, you just need to approximate. If you can't tell if you're 10 or 15% body fat, that's only going to be about 7 to 10 grams of protein a day difference by your calculation difference, so don't worry about it. If you can't pin down exactly your body fat, you just need a ballpark to determine your lean body mass. That's how much protein you should eat. And if that number comes to 150, then try to get 150 grams of protein a day. On your lean body mass, I usually tell people somewhere between 0.3 and 0.5 grams of fat per pound of lean body mass. And that only applies to naturals. And as far as the remaining calories, I recommend most people fill them mostly or all with carbs. Now, you could certainly do it a different way. You could fill it all with protein. You could fill it all with fat. You could fill it with a combination of the three. In fact, if you filled it all with fat, you would be doing a ketogenic diet. Yeah, it's possible to gain muscle on a ketogenic diet. I'm not a fan. I think you will gain muscle slower, and it's not optimal, but you could still gain muscle doing that. And it's the same on the protein intake. You could consume less protein than I recommended. You can still gain muscle. You just won't gain optimal amounts. But if your training, going back to the training video, isn't optimal, then optimal amount of protein intake doesn't matter either. And in fact, I know a guy, and he's one of my subscribers, who spent over a year on 100 grams of protein a day. He still ended up, over his bulking and cutting that year, gaining muscle and losing fat. And actually, the guy has a physique that the majority of people who start working out would love to have. Because the guy's got a decent amount of muscle mass. He's probably, last time I saw him, he was about 165 pounds with a visible six-pack, nice abs. And he's only eating 100 grams of protein a day. He just doesn't feel that he needs more than that. That's his personal choice, and it still worked for him. Now, he might have gained a little more muscle had he eaten a more optimal amount of protein, but he was still able to reach his goals without it. So these are just guidelines. They're not requirements. And then when it comes to the balance of your diet, just try to eat a balanced diet. Eat varied fruits and vegetables. Try to get most of your calories from whole foods, minimally processed, and eat your treats in moderation. And for most people, that will get you to your goals. So remember, find your maintenance calories. If you want to bulk, do a 10% surplus. If you want to cut, do a 10% deficit. If you stall for 2 weeks on either one, change it by another 10%, either through activity or calories. Try to get 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass, 0.3 to 0.5 grams of fat per pound of lean body mass. Fill remaining carbs however you want. I would recommend with mostly carbs, but it's not critical at the end of the day. And try to eat a varied diet with a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, mostly whole foods, treats in moderation. So there you have it, guys, the basics of nutrition and what 99% of people who are training need to know about nutrition to reach their fitness or physique goals. All right, guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you next time.